Greetings, fans, followers, and loyal subjects. This is your host, Sage from Eggs in the Nest, SAG, coming at you from the JTPRCDDWDC YouTube channel with a grand story. On a wee afternoon in April, I decided to embark on a journey to the Raymond James Stadium. For what, you might ask? Well, not for the Taylor Swift concert. That was the week prior. This week was for a flag football game, a charitable event that was being hosted by the Special Olympics and, Raymond James Stadium as a title sponsor. And my work put together a team to participate in the flag football tournament. Woohoo! So we get there, and we signed up for a co-ed team, which meant we needed 2 girls on the field at all times. So we had 3 girls on our team, 2 that were actually in the banking, myself and my good friend Elaine, and then 1 that we picked up from the IB, investment banking, group, because we didn't have any other girls that wanted to participate, or I guess they just weren't free that weekend, so we forgive them. Now, we get out there, and to our surprise, the team that we're facing is all guys. We're like, what is this? Now, we didn't expect to be great, but we severely got the beat down. Let me put it that way. We got the beat down in the first game. And because we were playing... So we were playing earlier in the week. We had a practice, and we didn't do like god awful, but we also didn't really draw up any plays, but yeah, it's not like we were terrible. It's just like these other football teams, flag football teams, it's like they actually did this every weekend or something. I don't know what was up with it, but it was just big guys, and we stuck to it, and we always had 2 girls in, or maybe we always at least had 1 girl in. But honestly, when we were facing all guys, that should have been my sign to go home right then and there. I didn't want to be there anyways because it was super hot, but because of the 2-girl rule, we just thought it'd be nice to have a 3rd person so that we could have, the girls sit on the bench here and there. So, we play the first game, we get creamed, crushed, the beat down, and we move on to the second game. So the first game we're facing another Raymond James team. The second game we're facing a JP Morgan team actually, and this one has a lot of more like older guys on it, not just a bunch of young fit people. So we thought we had a chance, but once again there were no women on this team. So we gave it a go. We did okay. We did better, but they still beat us. So at that point, we're like in the losers bracket, right? Second game over, lost to the old guys, and, we feel like big losers of the day. So everyone has to play 3 games, so we're on to our 3rd game. If we lose this game, we're in last place in our division. There's no question asked. I don't know how the team that we faced actually did, but once again, this is another Raymond James team, and it was all young, fit guys, bigger than every guy on my team. No offense to the guys on my team, but it's true. So we start playing, and like I said, this is for literally last place. And we're doing our thing. We're getting crushed. And at some point, I always get bothered by flag football. Whoever the quarterback is, just in my mind, is always doing, the wrong thing. They're trying to score every play. And it's you can get a first down, right? Or, what? So eventually I just said, you know what? I'm going to be the quarterback. F it. Whatever. And I threw a couple passes, we gained a couple yards, and everyone was like, oh, this is hilarious, Sage being the quarterback, and we're actually doing okay. But at the same time, it didn't even matter if we were doing okay. We were still going to lose. It was just for fun. Well, I go and I throw the ball, attempting to get a touchdown. Now, someone in the end zone, it actually gets picked off by the other team. And that guy then, throws it back to one of his other teammates. And he starts sprinting forward. For what reason, I don't know. but he sprints forward straight into me. And this guy, he was a gargantuan man. Gargantuan. Now, when I tell you, from my perspective, I don't remember flying in the air. I don't remember anything that happened except for landing. I got up, I grabbed my hat, which somehow I still lost after that. Grabbed my hat off the ground because it had flown off of my head. And I turn around and I start walking to the bench. And this gargantuan man doesn't even say anything that I remember. So my coworkers tell me that in that moment, I went flying as if I was in some kind of anime show. I went flying back, my hat flies off of my head, and then I just land like thud to the ground. And as I'm walking over to the bench, I'm just like, okay, I need to sit down now, because like my head hit the ground and I landed pretty hard. I'm like, ow, like my wrist kind of hurts. But as I'm walking back to the bench, my one coworker comes up to me and he's like, Sage, you need to go to the med tent. Like, you need to go over there? And at first I said no, or I hesitated. Then I looked down at my wrist, and where there's supposed to be a straight line, well, there was a curve, and I was like, oh, that's not supposed to look like that. I guess we will head over to the med tent. Now, at the med tent, it's not like official people are over there. I don't know, maybe they were just physical therapist type people, but there were no actual doctors, maybe nurses, not sure. Probably not nurses either. I don't know what they were, but they looked at my arm, asked me if I could wiggle my fingers. I said, no, I cannot. They gave me a temporary sling, and they said I should probably go to urgent care, and I said, yeah, I probably should. Now, I think that's where I actually lost my hat. I might have left it at the med tent. And so my good friend Elaine came over, and we got a drive out. We got to ride out of Raymond James Stadium with my broken arm on a golf cart, and they delivered us to Elaine's car so that she could drive me over to urgent care. And my other friend Dylan came along with us, and he went to go get us some food from there. I couldn't really think of anything to eat, so I think I got a smoothie and mac and cheese. So went to urgent care. They took my x-rays, and of course, my arm is indeed broken, as it appears. And so they said, I'm going to need to go visit a surgeon. It's broken all the way through. It's broken and dislocated. So had another temporary cast put on, and that is the story of how I broke my arm. Now, later that night, I needed to coordinate how I was going to get home, because I didn't want to drive with a broken arm. So I waited for Riley, Dr. Riley, to drive his car up with a friend, who then drove my car back down with me in it. And in between that time, I actually, believe it or not, went to World of Burgers. World of Burger? World of Beer. Not World of Burgers. World of Beer, it's called, in Tampa, with my temporary sling on, where the other football players, my coworkers, met us, and they cheered for me and bought me a drink. So in the end, had to get surgery from Dr. Hand. And that went well. My recovery went well. I'm back to functioning, back to golfing, although there is some pain sometimes. And also, Raymond James paid for all of it. Otherwise, I mean, I'd be bankrupt by now, probably. So, that's the story. The guy never reached out to apologize. I don't know his name. Don't know what he looks like. We think we know what department he works for, but we haven't pinned him down exactly. So, to that guy, if you're listening, it's very rude of you not to, like, send me flowers or a card or something. Like, I don't expect you to pay for my surgery. It was an accident, but, like, you literally broke my bones, dude. So, anyway, we're back at it now, kids. I'm never playing flag football again. Over and out. This has been Sage from Eggs in the Nest.